Hey, this is Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and this week I want to give a brief update on some of the stuff I've been doing and some of the stuff I've been collecting. First off, I'm going to start with this Ford Hightail hauler. This was the orange one with the yellow and blue stripes, flames, I'm sorry, on the top, on the hood. This one I had, I don't know, I bought it new when I was a kid, or somebody bought it for me. It pretty well took a beating. There was not much left for the paint. As usual, the handlebars are gone on the motorcycles, both of them. So I felt this is kind of what it's supposed to look like. This is the orange, the blue version with the yellow motorcycles. This one's really clean. I've had this one since I was a kid as well. So because this one's clean and I didn't really want to tear it apart, I figured I would tear apart the orange one. So I pretty much stripped all the paint, took the motorcycles. I get some ideas of what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to use this 1/16 brass tubing, and I'm going to bend it and make little handlebars for the bikes. I'm going to probably detail the bikes. The other thing I'm going to do is if you look on these, they have some sort of side exhaust. It's probably hard to see on camera. Let's see, maybe if I take this apart, it might be easier. So you got four pipes. I'm going to cut and grind these off and drill little holes, and I'm actually going to use this 1/16 tubing and make my own. I think I'll just add a little bit to it. It's the exact size, it's perfect fit, so it works out really well. As far as painting, I'm probably going to paint it black, and I'm considering actually getting the reproduction Tempo kit with the flames from the Red Line shop, I believe is where I saw them. I'm not 100% sure. Been on a lot of sites lately. So I'm kind of hoping it'll look good. I think they're the original ones, so I believe they are kind of blue and orange, so I'm not sure. I'm sorry, blue and yellow, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to look on black, so I may wait for those to come in before I paint it. So that's that. While I was at work, I was mentioning to one of the guys at work that what I was doing with Hot Wheels, and he brought me in this. Looked like it's an old phone truck. It's got a rotating turret on the back. I haven't Googled what the original truck looked like, so only because I really don't care, because I'm going to turn this one into some sort of a zombie apocalypse type truck. I'm going to change the suspension, change the wheels. I'm probably going to hack part of the back off and make something kind of cool out of it. It's going to be like a semi-flat black. Probably put push bars on the front, push bars on the side. Might do something with these because one of them is busted off, as usual, from either being scraped on the ground or whatever. So I don't know. This is going to be kind of a fun one. You get a lot of wide open space on the top, so I may end up doing something here. So that's that. And then today I went to a local indoor flea market, and I found, because I'm a huge fan of vans, this piece of junk super van. And it's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure, because of the way you can see the orange here, orange and red, and a little bit of a lick here. I believe this is the white one with the flames. I think I'm actually going to restore this one. I only got it for like $1. So, being a huge van fanatic, I was originally, when I bought it, I was thinking about doing some sort of a mural on it, and I decided I might just try the white with the flames. I might do a white one and a black one. I'm not sure if I'll change. I mean, this thing rolls really, really good. And I kind of like these kind of things because it shows, I mean, for this to have worn off over the years, it's good to see that somebody got years of enjoyment out of this. It's not scratched really per se, so it's not like it wore off from sitting in somebody's box, which I'm sure, you know, it did happen a little bit, but for the most part, this just got played with a lot, and that's awesome. I'd like to restore it back to the way it was. The base is pretty oxidized, so I'm going to have to do something with that. So that's that one. And right next to it, they had a neat streeter. And I got this for $3. And, you know, this is all worn off. I just think this is just a really cool casting up. I mean, this thing rolls amazing. The wheels probably can be cleaned up. One of them's a little bit bent. I think this front one. I might try to bend that back, keep the wheels on it, do a little touch up. Polish it up. I'm going to see if I can remove what's left and get another one, put that on there and leave it as is. I don't know if I'm going to take this one apart or not. If I screw something up, I'll probably just end up ripping it apart and making a custom out of it. But I just think it's a cool casting, and growing up I never had one, so for the price I couldn't go wrong. Even if I hack it up and destroy it, it's worth it. Excuse me. And then this week I started working on and finished my Paramedic Super van. I had this when I was a kid, and I pretty much, I mean, I played with these things constantly. I grew up an only child, so I had a lot of free time to get creative. So I ended up taking, it was worn, and there's a lot of paint chips on the top. You know, mainly the corners. Any place there was a corner, here, over here. Same thing on this side, and a little bit around the windows. And I was getting ready to strip it and spray the citrus strip on it, and I don't know, I couldn't get myself to do it since this was something that I kind of grew up with. So I put a really heavy weathering effect on it. I changed the rims and tires, which are out of came with the M2 Firebird kit. So, which I'm okay with. I don't like the skinnies as much on the front. I haven't finished. I still got a few details. That's why it's not screwed together. So I painted the base black. Then I pretty much wiped off with thinner the side pipes, the rear bumper, the front bumper, and the grille. The one thing I don't like about these is that the windows are really heavily tinted. I polished it up, but you still can't see through it. The one issue I did have, the interior is really clean, was the back. These wider wheels. If you look, maybe you can tell if I grab this one, you can see the difference, how much I had to cut out to get those wheels to fit. So the only thing I'm really lacking on the interior now is some sort of inner fender well to go over here, because when you put all this together, you know, you can kind of see through, and that just kind of bothers me a little bit. So I'm going to make something either out of styrene or maybe, you know, cut up an aluminum can and make some inner fender wells, paint them black. But I like the stance. I think the stance looks really cool. I like how the wheels kind of fit inside. And to use these, I ended up having to use a piece of tubing. I don't know if it was the 1/16 or it would have been the 3/32 brass rod. I think this is what I used right here. More stuff hanging around here. So it's this Hobby Lobby 5126, and it fits the axles in pretty good. So that's what I ended up doing with that. Put this back together. So like I said, once I get the wheel wells, I can put the finishing touches on it. Still debating how much of a fan I am of the weathering. Pretty much what I used was my weathering kits. I used this on the Bone Shaker one I did, if you watch that video. It's an ink, a transparent burnt umber ink, and excuse me. What you do is you pretty much brush it on and then wipe it off after a few seconds, so it has time to kind of sit in there a little bit, and it really highlights a lot of the certain areas. And obviously I darkened it in certain areas. I left it on a little longer, and then I just went back with my weathering kit and added a little bit around the wheel wells, usually the back right here where it had a lot of wear from just being played with. The top of the hood, which normally these things would rot anyways, a real van would all rot right along the front. So I added some there, and then the top of the windshield. And then matte cleared it. And it came out pretty good. I like it. It rolls good. I don't think I'll be going down any raceways anytime soon, but regardless, that's that. So the other thing I forgot to mention, I'll get this out of the way, was on this, what I'm going to be doing is I found these wheels, and they're almost like a moon style rim with the white wall, and I got them off of they're Rail Riders. I got them off of this Ford Econoline, which probably I shouldn't have done, but I don't know. I can't leave well enough alone. So these are going to go on here. I have to, I'm doing it when I'm done this video. I gotta hack out all the wheel wells right now, so it's a little wider because the tubing has to fit in there. And pretty much what I'm going to do is cut this in half. I already got a couple ready to go. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. I cut the axle, and then that's going to go right inside that 1/16 tube. And I already tested it out. It's going to look awesome. It's going to work good. The only issue I have is the windshield for it. At one point, I must have tried to paint, when I was a kid, paint it gold. I have no idea why. And I got to get all that paint off. If not, I'm going to have to hunt down another windshield. I'm not going to take the yellow one off the blue truck. So, and it's really not a fan of how they did this. It kind of sits in here, and there's like a little ledge way up top, and it just kind of snaps in, but it doesn't sit very good, and there's nothing to hold it. So you can't take any material off it, otherwise it won't fit right and it'll fall right out. So anyways, hope you guys found this semi-informative, and like I said, I didn't do too much this week after I finished the Bone Shaker. So that's, I got the van. I'm going to start working on that van. I'm going to work on this high-tail hauler. And then I'm probably going to do something with this at some point. It's funny, I remember 48 years old, and you just remember certain things. I remember from the day I bought this, I was always into hot rods. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see this thing go down the track. And I used to actually sit in my driveway, which was a hill, and I used to take all my Hot Wheels and I'd roll them down the hill, and whatever one went the furthest would win. And I was so excited to try this, and this thing sucked from day one. All the wheels were bent right out of the box, and this thing just never got used because it just sucked. I wish there was a better word for it. So, but I like the body on it, and I like the flames. And overall, believe it or not, the paint's not bad because I never really did anything with it. I must have broke the windshield at some point, which, actually no, I think it's supposed to be that way. So, but I'm not a fan of the grill, and I'm not a fan of the motor, so I'm thinking about swapping it out with this this Matchbox 34 that I have. I'm not sure, so I might also take this one. This was in a box. One of the card got wet and it got all moldy, and the card stuck to the paint, so I got to rip this one apart. It's too bad too because it's a pretty cool car. So anyways, thanks for watching, and if you guys found it interesting, please hit the subscribe button, the bell, like it, whatever, share it with your friends. You can follow us on Instagram, and I'll be posting updates on that pretty much as the week goes on, and I reserve the weekends for doing some videos. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.